Next, we have Representative Jim Walsh. And before we get him up here, I'd like to get Jackson. Maybe we can also gift him a AR Standard magazine, because I know he has an AR. But for those that haven't stopped by Weapons Outfitter yet, please stop by and pick up your AR.
If I could, I'll say one thing. If any of you guys know what Freedom Week was, that was an event in California where Senator Judge Benitez, I believe his name is, overturned a ruling in California. And for 1 week, people in California were buying magazines, standard capacity magazines from all over the country. In that 1 week, estimates are as high as 1 million magazines were sold within the state of California. Distributors were wiped out, stores were wiped out, we were wiped out, and then for months, no one could get magazines restocked. If this bill passes with the time we have, we're going to get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. We're going to flood this state with magazines. We'll work with our partners, Sons of Liberty, we've discussed this, and we'll see if we have to airdrop them in, by ship, by boat, drive them in, whatever. They're not going to be illegal, just undocumented.
Thanks.
There you are, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Thank you.
A lovely standard capacity magazine. Well, thanks for coming out. It's a good day. It's a good day to be free. And it's a good day to live in Washington. So we're dealing with these bills. Phil talked to you about the standard capacity magazine ban. Over in the House, we've got the ghost gun ban. Yes, and we've got another extension of where you can open carry, and maybe carry it all in this open carry state. What do these bills have in common? Fear. These bills are based on fear and ignorance. You can see it literally in the drafting, in the wording of the bills. They're written by people who don't know how to use firearms. They don't know the simple mechanics of carrying a firearm. They don't know anything about shooting, whether for sport or for self-protection. They have no idea what they're talking about. In a House Civil Rights and Judiciary Committee meeting, and to Phil's invitation to get in touch, I'm the ranking member on the House Judiciary Committee, and we have some friends there. In one of our hearings on one of these emotional, fear-based, ill-informed bills, I asked the prime sponsor how the bill squared with Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington State Constitution. And what was her answer? I'm not familiar with that part of the Constitution, Representative Walsh. So this is what it is. This is what it is. It is fear and it's ignorance. And what we need to do is spread the message that with knowledge, with experience, comes practical confidence about protecting yourself, protecting your family, and protecting your homes. That is our message. At a time in this state when we are letting criminals out of jail, at a time in this state when we are making it easier to do wrong, we have to find first things. And the first thing, although it's the Second Amendment in the federal Constitution, is your right to protect yourself. And it's a duty, really. It's a duty to protect yourself, to teach your children and your grandchildren how to protect themselves. And you'll see, as Phil said, they talk about being a woman's issue. One of the most impressive things to me that you'll see when you teach yours how to protect themselves is the true confidence that comes with being a free person who isn't living in fear. And it is true confidence. It's not arrogance. It's not ignorance. It's not threatening. It's none of the images that the controlling left wants to portray. It's quiet confidence. That's what we want, and that's what the right to defend yourself gives you. And it's what it gives every person. And it's what we seek. We don't seek to showboat. We don't seek to be flamboyant. What we seek to be is free people. And that's what this right gives you and all of us. We have to remember that. We have to remember the quiet confidence, the calm that comes with true liberty. And that's what makes the state strong. It's what makes individuals strong. It's what makes people happy, and it's what makes people safe. It's a big thing that's going on now. We have other bills that we're considering under the dome here that will do things like take away life without parole in this state. And now that is fine in an academic discourse to talk about that, but in the real world, that is a risk to all of our well-being. That's a risk to public safety. And in these times, when our academic discourse leads us to less safety in our streets, that quiet, calm security is more important than ever. Our founders of our country knew this 250 years ago. The founders of this state knew this 125 years ago. When we make a free people, we make a strong people, we make a happy people, we make a prosperous people. And for too long in this town, under that dome, we've taken that all for granted, that happiness, that calm, that prosperity, that freedom. Well, we're going to take it back. We're going to take it back in this session. We're going to take it back later this year. We are going to start a wave that will return Washington to the free people who founded it. You're all part of that. I know you're my brothers and my sisters in that work. We're all part of that. It starts here in 100 and 1,000 small meetings. And it doesn't get on TV, and it doesn't get in the big newspapers, but it's happening already because people know the importance of liberty and freedom and the ability to protect yourself in a civil society. So we will return to these first things, I promise you that, and we'll have fun doing it. And we're already having fun doing it. And we will continue to. So stay strong, stay happy in your heart, because the Constitution is on our side, the right laws are on our side, and increasingly the people are on our side. So God bless you all, and I'm happy to see you, and we'll be here every time that we gather together. Bye-bye.
Again, thank you to the legislators for coming out, and I see a couple more. But I'm going to get Brett here from Wade's Guns, or Bryan, excuse me. Again, I want to just thank the firearm industry who's coming out and supporting. This is something that Gun Rights Coalition has been trying to do. You know, we wanted to shake Second Amendment individuals to activate and motivate. And now we want to get the firearm industry in there. So next legislative session, before the bills start pre-filed, once the bills start getting pre-filed, we'd like to be able to prioritize and tackle these anti-gun control bills. So again, thank you for the firearm industry.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Bryan Zielinski. I am the GSM for Wade's Eastside Guns in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. And while I work for Wade, I am here on my own accord. Right? I'm here for my sons. I'm here for my daughter. I'm here for you guys. Right? I talk for a living. That's what I do. I should probably be in there. Right? But I talk for a living, and I train people. And one of the things that that I train on is that you don't listen to what somebody says, you watch what they do. Right? So yesterday, I turned the news on, and I listened to our governor saying that he was not going to be stampeded into a decision when it came to masks. But what's happening right now with gun control is we're being stampeded, right? And so you really have to take these people at their action. They're going to tell us anything that they think is going to play. Anything that's going to get them 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds on TV, they're going to say it. They're going to placate us. We're going to go home, right? It is what it is. But you got to look and watch what they do. And one of the principles that I live by and a lot of my guys live by is we are unapologetic, right? We are unapologetically Second Amendment. We are unapologetic in our beliefs. And I challenge every single one of you to be unapologetic in your beliefs. Right. Do not apologize for living your life a certain way. Do not apologize for being who you are. Do not apologize for doing what you do. Yeah. That is your right. And so I was asked to speak very, very last minute. This is 100% off the cuff and from the heart. I appreciate every single one of you guys and gals and people that are here today. It means it means so much. It's cold out. It's nasty out. It's February in Washington. All right? Could be worse. All right? Could be in California. All right? Don't let them take your power away. Right? Do not let them take your power away. Do not let them take your voice away. Stand up at every turn. Don't be reactive, be proactive. Yeah. Fight the fight before the fight starts. God bless you.
We have Senator Jeff Wilson from the Legislative District 19.
Well, first of all, I want to tell everybody thank you for being here. As all the speakers are going to tell you, you matter. You have to be here because last night we stayed up late arguing over something we shouldn't argue about. And we argued about numbers last night. Capacities, magazines. Let me give you my numbers of capacity. It's 1776. I mean, just work with me on that. Those are the four numbers that I'm going to tell you about when it comes to our Second Amendment. Last night, we argued over something else, and this morning a speaker had mentioned this was a woman's issue to some extent. Oh, no. This is an everybody issue. This is an American issue. Everybody to be included. And I'd like to offer that you, in fact, give us the power. Please continue to, we're here for Article 1, Section 1. And that's what matters. I'm so grateful to even be standing in front of you today. And as we go back in and argue these issues, we shouldn't be arguing about it. And an argument last night was we need to reduce the capacity of magazines, as an example, because of studies in other countries. The other countries don't come with the greatest accessory of your life, ladies and gentlemen. It's the F word. It calls for freedom. Do not want to compare to other countries that don't have those liberties of freedom, because that's, to me, not on the table. There's only one America. There's only one of us as a group of society, and we will remain free. My speech will be short. God bless you all today.
Again, another defender for our Second Amendment rights, Senator Keith Wagner out of the 39th.
Well, you just heard some really good orators, and now you got me, so sorry to bring things down a little bit. First of all, I want to thank you for being here, because you staying involved in this issue is so important, and your work that you do here and the way you vote in the future is key to us standing up for you. We've got a couple of great allies. We got the United States Constitution, we have the Washington State Constitution, and you have the folks on my side of the aisle in the legislature standing up for you. I have an A+ NRA rating, have had one every year since I've been down here. So I want to talk a little bit about the bill last night, the so-called high-capacity magazine. I used that word only one time in my floor speech because it's silly. It's not a high-capacity magazine. They're just magazines. And it's like saying someone who has a 20-gallon tank in their car has a high-capacity tank as opposed to someone who has a 15-gallon tank. It's just a crazy, arbitrary number. We were there till about 11 o'clock last night arguing our points on your behalf and on behalf of everybody in Washington State to defend that Second Amendment right. The thing that stung me the most from the opposition was they would not allow an amendment that allowed our military personnel who get PCS, Permanent Change of Duty Station, into Washington State to bring their legally acquired firearm equipment into this state. They would not allow an amendment that would just exempt them from this, which puts me in a strange position because I have 2 children in the military, 1 son and 1 daughter, who are going to come home here, and now they can't bring their firearms because they exceed the magazine capacities. So we're fighting hard for you. I hope that the House is going to be able to fix this. We'll see. But the long-term fix is to put more people like the gentleman you just heard from, like me, like Senator Gildon, who I see it standing up there trying to be a wallflower. Keep us there and put more people like us there. Thank you.
Well, since Senator Wagoner called you out, you're going to have to come up here. But he's a retired Army officer, staunch defender. And again, he's been supporting us since he's been in office. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, it's so good to see everybody out here today on this little cold day. I am Chris Gildon, your senator for the 25th District, which is the Puyallup area. So if you're in that area, come say hello. Let's chat a little bit. I believe in life. I believe in our freedoms. I believe that America is the greatest country that has ever been on the face of earth because of the freedoms that we enjoy and the liberties guaranteed under our founding documents, the Constitution and the Second Amendment, which is the amendment that defends all of the others, right? Without that, we don't have any of the others. You know, I was on the floor with the rest of the folks last night, and we were debating this magazine ban bill. And it's interesting to me because my background is in the military. So I had 5 deployments overseas to Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, and stuff like that. And I'm on these base camps this whole time that I'm there. And everybody there is carrying some kind of device that would be illegal under this bill that just passed the Senate. You're carrying an automatic rifle, a machine gun, a rocket launcher, grenades, all kind of stuff. And you know what occurred to me is that I never even encountered so much as a fist fight amongst the people who were there. And it was NATO countries, you know, there were people from all over the world gathered together, living in cramped spaces, in not great conditions. But, you know, the thing is, magazines don't pull triggers, right? People pull triggers. We don't have a magazine problem. We have a people problem in our society. And as long as we continue to enable criminals to do crime, and we continue to reduce the crime and the penalty for being a criminal, we're going to get more crime, right? What we allow today, we're going to get more of tomorrow. That's just a fact. And I tell you, folks, we have got just a spirit of lawlessness that is gripping our state, and we have got to take our state back. I've often said that, you know, a society that does not protect its citizens and enforce its own laws is a society that's destined for failure. And we are on the precipice of that failure, but it's not too late for us to take our state back. And we can certainly, the winds of change, I can feel them in the legislature. The winds of change are at our back, and we're moving out of this legislative session. I think we're going to have a few victories. Last night in the Senate, we just got reasonable probable cause put back into the police pursuit bill that came out of the Senate. That was a victory, right? So the winds of change are happening. So we've got to take this momentum that we've got today, keep moving through this legislative session. If you're not signing up to testify on particular bills in the legislature, please do so, because it matters. Encourage your friends to do so. It matters. I can't tell you how many times that the other side will come up to us and they'll say, well, there was no opposition in testimony, so this must be a great bill. No, it's a horrible bill, but just we've got to get good people to get active and get out there and sign up and let your voices be heard. You know, the doors of the Senate and the House are pretty much closed off to you right now. You've got limited ways to let your voices be heard. Use every access, every opportunity that you have to ensure your voices are heard. We need your support, and I thank God for each and every one of you. Thanks.
So I also wanted to say, take a moment of your time, a little bit about me. I was born in the Philippines. I'm a naturalized immigrant. I also served in the military. I was a retired Army officer, Purple Heart recipient, 3 combat tours. And you know what? Thank you. I was born during martial law back in the Philippines. So I remember my parents, especially when we went to the provinces, getting stuffed underneath the bed. You know, back then in the rural provinces, if you were old enough to carry a gun, you just became a child soldier in that faction. And then we also saw in the cities when the government police force, when especially you didn't side with the government, they black bagged you and take you away. A lot of people were tortured. A lot of people died during those times. And my parents had an opportunity to immigrate here to the United States. And by gosh, America showed us plenty of opportunities, and we took advantage of those opportunities. And now, when my father, I was old enough, my dad said, we want to get back to the country that's given so much to us. So he was expecting that I only do a tour one term, but I did more because I loved it. I loved the American people, and I knew I had to give back even more so. And then when I left the military, I just started seeing the stuff that was ingrained to me by you. I'm a naturalized immigrant, so I'm assimilating now, right? So I'm taking all the cultural values and all the things of freedom, and all of a sudden I came back after 10 years. I finally got put back in the CONUS, and then next thing I know, it's like it was wrong to do everything I was free to do as a child, and so I knew I had to take a stand. I was raised by a responsible gun owner, which were my parents, and so we grew up with guns. And it was not uncommon to be on my college campus and to see a tuba player with also a rifle case, because we had a rifle range on campus, to include the police force using those ranges on our campus. So things are changing, and I just wanted to do this with the Gun Rights Coalition team, one, to continue to motivate. I know year after year we stand here, but now is not the time to quit. Now is the time to stay visible. Now is the time to stay active. They're fighting the fight, but we have to do our part. And that means not only after legislative session, we have to reach, teach, inspire, motivate, and educate. That's our time. It is our time. Okay? So, again, the largest gun sales has been in the last 2 years, so we got a lot of new firearm owners out there. These are when we need to go out in the community and start these dialogues. And also be responsible. And we have a lot of great organizations, great companies here that will continue to support a lot of the Second Amendment nonprofits here for scholarships. Again, we, Pink Pistols, in the last couple of years have sent over a dozen sponsorships to gun courses, safety gun courses, and we need to continue to do that. So not only are we need to educate the current new gun owners out there, but continue to educate those that are coming up behind us. I'm in the, I'm moving on to the second half of my life. So the first half I've given to God, country, and community. And you guys know, when I got out of the military, I've been a community activist since then, and you've probably seen me all over the place. And so now that I'm coming into the second half of my life, it's continuing to serve, make sure my kids have the ability to have the freedoms that I grew up with, and I want to make sure there's no barriers, especially the people that are making barriers for us here in. So again, we need to start organizing even after their legislative session. They're going to go back, do their town halls. These are the times to ask hard questions. The people that are going to have to enforce these crazy laws that they're making, are the ones that do pass. We're going to have to also get involved in like your city police departments when they look to interview the next police chief, sheriff. When sheriffs, they get to the point where they have to go up for the next term. These are the times when we have to ask these hard questions. Where do you stand? Do you stand with us or do you stand against us? And if they stand against you, vote them out. Get them out. Organize, And I'll be right there standing shoulder to shoulder with you because you guys are my brothers and sisters. Again, thank you for your time, and thank you for the industry coming out. And this is what we need more of. You'll probably hear a little bit more where we start prioritizing what the bills are pre-filed and then start organizing, sitting down as a committee outside organizing ourselves and start looking at these bills, looking at the language, and saying, no, this is a no pass for us. And then organize to defeat those bills and help these guys out. And then get active in the community. So I'm in a neighborhood that's a lot of blue and deep, so I'm kind of the few. But you know what? I engage with them every day, and so I've seen kind of them turn in dialogue. So I'm not going to back. I just continue to engage. So and that's what I hope you guys do, and not only support the legislators and say thank you to the ones that are helping us out here, but help them out during when the time counts. When they're here in their seats, their butts are already ingrained in the seats, but they're most vulnerable is when they're all of a sudden they put their smiley faces on and say, "Can I have some contribution for my campaign?" And thank you very much. So, thank you. So please stop by these booths, check them out, bring some information. We still got some AR mags here. I'm sure a couple of our elected officials are turning red. Sponsors. So stop by the booths, and thank you very much. Thank you.